So here's the big question. How are entrepreneurs like us, who have been hustling and struggling to make it to success, who seem to make it one step forward only to fall two steps back, who are dedicated, determined, and driven, how do we finally break through and win? That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answers. My name is Brian Kelly, and this is the Mind, Body, Business Show. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Mind, Body, Business Show. You have made it here on a very, very special night. We have none other than Jeff Brain. He is the founder of CloutHub, and if you've not heard of that yet, oh my goodness, you are going to love what this man has put together and his team. It is an amazing, amazing social media site, and we'll get into that in a little bit. The Mind, Body, Business Show, it is a show for entrepreneurs by entrepreneurs. And my mission on this show is to bring on incredible guest experts like Jeff Brain, who will express how they have achieved the level of success that they have so that you can simply take notes and model what they have done to achieve their great levels of success. And that's what it's all about. It's about modeling success. And I bring on special guests after special guests. Jeff is way up there, and I can't wait to share him and his wisdom with you in just a moment. And so the Mind, Body, Business Show is about what I call the three pillars of success. Mind being a very positive, powerful, yet most importantly, flexible mindset. Body, which is taking care of oneself physically and through nutrition. Now, this came from studying successful people that I did for over 10 years, where I would just get into their brain if they were alive and read their books if they were not with us anymore and find out what were the keys to their success. And that's where these three pillars came from. And business, each and every of these successful individuals had mastered all the skill sets necessary to build and continue to grow thriving businesses. And there are many skill sets that one must master. And we're going to go into several components of different things tonight. These are organic shows. We have a chat, and I like to extract the brilliance out of beautiful people like Jeff Brain. It's going to be a lot of fun. I hope you stay with us. And another wonderful artifact of very successful people is, to a person, what I found out is they are each very avid readers of books, and not just any books, books that have impact on them. And with that, I'd like to segue over into a little segment I affectionately call Bookmarks.
Bookmarks. Born to read. Bookmarks. Ready, steady, read. Bookmarks. Brought to you by ReachYourPeakLibrary.com.
There you see it on the screen, ReachYourPeakLibrary.com. And just a quick word of advice, and that is write these resources down versus clicking away and trying to find out what they look like while the show is on. And here's the reason why. When Mr. Jeff Brain is on, he's going to be giving such incredible nuggets of wisdom. I would hate for you to miss any one of them. It only takes one to change your life forever. And I would hate for you to miss that because your attention was diverted off to looking at other websites or looking into resources. So just do yourself a favor and write this down on a piece of paper or maybe on your notepad on your computer. But keep your attention on Jeff when he speaks, because you don't want to miss a word of this amazing, amazing man. So ReachYourPeakLibrary.com. That is a website I literally had put together with you in mind. And I'm not kidding when I say that. What it is a compilation of books that I personally read and vet. And that means not every book I've ever read is in this list on this website. They're really not in here in any particular order. They were just kind of dropped in as I completed reading them. And they're there for you. If something jumps out to you that you haven't read, just click the button. It goes to Amazon. This is not for the purpose of making money. This is for the purpose of giving you a resource that you know at least one other successful person has vetted, so that your odds of wasting time are greatly diminished. That is the whole purpose behind this. So I hope you enjoy that resource. That is my gift to everyone. Again, it's not here for the purpose of making money, but for spreading value, knowledge, and wisdom so that you can get ahead in business and in life, because it covers everything. Well, we've been talking a lot about this guy named Jeff Brain, and I think it's about time we all met him in person. What do you think? I think it's time. Let's do it. Here we go.
It's time for the Guest Expert Spotlight. Savvy, skillful, professional, adept, trained, big league, qualified.
And there he is, ladies and gentlemen. It is the one, it is the only Jeff Brain. How are you doing tonight, Jeff?
I'm doing good. How are you? Good to be with you.
Doing fantastic. Excited, beyond the moon. This is the founder of CloutHub, everyone. We're going to learn a lot about that tonight. I cannot wait to dig deep into that beautiful brain of his. Wow, I just said beautiful brain. That was not intended a pun. That was awesome. I kid you not. I did not mean that to happen on purpose. That's pretty neat. Real quick, before we dive in, Jeff, if you don't mind, a little bit of housekeeping I need to go through, and that is everyone sees that red and white round circle above Jeff's head if you're watching on video, and that is the Big Insider Secrets. They sponsor this show. And with that, everyone who sticks with us live to the end can enter to win a 5-night stay at a 5-star luxury resort. And that is all because of the Big Insider Secrets. You do not want to miss that. So stay with us till the end. And then 2 more, and we're going to get back to the man of the hour. All right. So if you're struggling with putting a live show together and it's overwhelming and you want a lot of the processes done for you while still enabling you to put on a high quality show and to connect with great people like Jeff Brain and grow your business all at the same time, then head on over to carpetbombmarketing.com. Carpet Bomb Marketing, saturate the marketplace with your message. And one of the key components that is contained in the Carpet Bomb Marketing system is one that you'll learn how to absolutely master. And it's the very service we're using right now to stream our live show right here on the Mind Body Business Show. And it's called StreamYard, as you can see there. Over the course of the past now 10 years at least, I've tried so many of these quote unquote TV studio solutions for live streaming shows like this. And I'll tell you, StreamYard is the best of the best. It combines supreme ease of use along with unmatched functionality. So write this down. Don't go to it. Don't click on it. Go to ryp.im/stream live. That's ryp.im/stream live. Write that down and visit that after the show is over. You'll be glad you did, because you can put on super high quality show just like this one. All right, back to the man of our, Mr. Jeff Brain. How are you doing, my friend?
Doing well. So good to be with you.
Thank you. And I know you went through a lot to be here, and I completely appreciate that, and I thank you immensely. So what Jeff has done, I'm not going to go into the details, but it's the epitome of a successful individual. He's very flexible and made things happen that were not comfortable. Let's just put it that way. And I appreciate that, Jeff, very, very much. And now I'm going to introduce you, give you the respect you deserve by letting people know what a brilliant guy you are, because you have this cool storyline you've used for your bio. And I think it's really neat how you've done that. Jeff Brain is the CEO of CloutHub. Have you ever dreamed of a social media platform that brings people together and connects them to the things and people that enrich their lives and builds up society, rather than tears it down? How many of you have heard about this just recently happening? Where voices can be heard, authentic discussion is allowed, there's a concept, and diverse ideas can be civilly debated. That's what Jeff Brain envisioned when he set out to create CloutHub, a social network designed for meaningful civic and social engagement. I love this. Existing social media platforms have become abusive, invasive, and unhealthy. Even still, they have transformed commerce, relationships, and business. What is missing until now is a platform that brings people together and enables them to access information and tools that allow them to address the issues that impact their lives, communities, society, and country. Jeff is on a mission to bring people back together and empower them to connect, socialize, and impact the issues that they care about. CloutHub is a place where free thinkers and speakers can go beyond simply posting in exchange for likes, like so many do, but actually making a difference. CloutHub is social that matters. Powerful. I love that. That is amazing. Oh, I'm so excited. Michelle Swinick, shout out to you. Thank you for introducing me to this guy. He is an amazing guy. She has a great cause she's working with as well. And we're just going to talk about CloutHub in depth in a little bit here, Jeff. But I know that it takes a lot to stand something up like that. Oh my gosh, I can't even imagine. Actually, I'm a former software engineer, and that's not something I would want to tackle. There are so many moving parts to a social media platform, yet let alone any kind of smart type of web presence, which that one definitely is, database driven, everything that goes with it. What I like to do is begin the show by finding out what it is going on in that big, beautiful brain of yours, Jeff. It's all about what's going up in the mind that really sets the tone for either our degree of success currently or lack thereof. And
Right.
so for you, when you get up in the morning, I mean, I cannot imagine what you're going through with building this thing up from the ground. And there are arduous tasks, there are issues, there are things to deal with. There are people like me you got to deal with to come on this show at the last minute. When you get up in the morning, what is it going on in your brain that is keeping you motivated, always moving forward, even when you're stuck with, facing setback after setback after setback? What is it for you going on up here when you're ready to start your day?
Yeah, well, actually, it's easy to start my day in that I am excited about what I'm building. I think it's badly needed. And first of all, I apologize if I'm in a lobby of a hotel, so hopefully it won't be too noisy. But there's tremendous challenges facing our country and our society and our freedoms right now. And so what CloutHub is doing right now is providing people the tools they need to address those issues, right? I don't know if you heard, but when GoFundMe had decided not to release the funds to the Canadian truckers, CloutHub stepped up and set up a replacement campaign. And we, in 5 days, raised them $8.5 million.
Wow.
Just before coming on the air tonight, we learned that the Canadian government froze those funds. So
Oh my gosh.
it is a lot of setbacks, but you always have to have the confidence that you'll figure out the answer. Because it's like Martin Luther King said, don't wait till you see the top step to take the first step. You can't. If you did that, then you'd be in. You never get started. So you always have to have the confidence that you're going to solve the problems that come your way, and that you'll have the answer, you'll know somebody who has that answer for you, and don't let it stop you. And so tonight was this happened just before I came on the air, with you, and that's part of the reason I was a little bit late doing a mic check. But so you can imagine, I had to talk to a lot of people about this. And but we'll figure an answer to it, and it just shows, how important a platform like CloutHub is. People have to be able to organize. People have to be able to mobilize and address the issues. And the people in Canada that are involved in this truck protest, they haven't burnt any buildings, they haven't broken any windows, and nobody has been beaten up or hurt, and yet. The reason they froze the money is they suggested it was being used for terrorism. Anybody can claim now anything's terrorism. It's ridiculous. Just yesterday or day before yesterday, the U.S. government, Department of Homeland Security, now came out and said if you criticize the government with misinformation, it's considered terrorism. So we're going down a slippery slope that all Americans should be concerned about. It's not about left or right. It's not about Democrat or Republican. It's about freedom. And our freedoms are being under, attacked, and so in answer, I guess that was a long way to get to your answer. I wake up in the morning and I'm going, okay, what can I do now to help these people that are under assault? Whether it's what their children being taught in schools, whether it's having to face quitting a job if they don't want to get a vaccine, that maybe they're not comfortable with. These are the choices people are faced with, and that I'm excited. When I started building it in CloutHub in 2018, I had no idea that by 2022 we'd be locked in, or 21, we'd be locked in our homes, our businesses would be closed, our churches would be closed, and our freedoms would be, when I first started building it in 2018, they even denied shadow banning existed, right? Remember, Twitter would say, "Oh, we don't shadow ban. What is shadow banning?" Right? Now, of course, they go way beyond that, and they just blatantly take people off the platform if they don't like what you're saying. And again, every American, everyone, everywhere in the world gives freedom should be concerned.
Yeah, I'm gravely concerned personally. I'm glad that you are doing this and leading the charge. And one of the questions I would have to you, and I don't know if you would have the answer, you're trying to find it daily. What would your advice be to the rest of us in what can we do to help get our freedoms back? Because we've watched and experienced them be chipped away. And you said it beautifully, you know, if you don't believe in a certain narrative, then you are squashed. I know you didn't say it that way, but that's what's happening. And I love how you talked about misinformation. It's like, yeah, as defined by who?
Right.
You know, and it's always their definition is the, you know, when I say there, it's those that are in the power area that are causing all of the issues you are talking about as far as censorship and
Right.
just straight out deleting Twitter accounts. And they're basically trying to limit people's opinions that are, you know, what happened to freedom of speech? You know, both sides can debate. Well, not anymore, not in the society we or Canada apparently are in anymore. It's either their way or the highway. And if you don't comply, then there are things that happen to you. I mean, they're trying to shut down Joe Rogan of all people. I heard it's like it's gotten crazy in a horrible way. What can people do, Jeff? Is there one place they can start, or are there multiple places that they can reach out to people and maybe start movements? Whatever needs to be done to gain our freedoms back. This is scary
You know,
stuff.
the thing with the Canadian protests, what that demonstrated to us, when we started to see the trucks line up and move down the freeways, you saw people lining the roads, supporting them with flags. And I think it was a tremendous boost to them because they realized they're not alone. We all think the same thing, but what do we do? What action do we take? We don't know where to start, you know, and we think it's just me, you know, I don't see anybody else feeling that way. So when the truckers started moving and the people were lining the streets and waving their flags and offering them food, you know, and now there's tremendous sense of energy in Ottawa and other parts of Canada where it's a sense of pride, right? So what I would say to people is to realize you're not alone. Most people want freedom, believe in freedom. It's what's made America great. It's what's made America the envy of the world, is that we could criticize our president or our Congress or our mayor or anybody, our governors, and we never had to worry about that. And suddenly you were seeing they're trying to, you know, you saw the parents going to the school board meetings being called terrorists by the FBI. It's ridiculous. And nobody should accept it. And that's the key. Don't accept it. Just because they try and paint us in that picture, don't accept it. They can throw any label they want at us. They can call us terrorists. They can call us, you know, what are they calling now? The people in Canada, they're not using the word insurrectionists, but something like that, you know. But, you know, they're just labels, but that doesn't make it true, you know. And people have to stand up. And if we stand up and stand together, then they can't do this to us. And that's what we're seeing in Canada, right? And actually, you're going to see this in the United States very shortly. You're going to see people, the truckers in the United States start to convoy. And I would encourage all your people that are watching to stock up on food, you know, because once the truckers do move, there'll be shortages in the stores. And you want to make sure you have plenty of food and other things, medicine that you need. But listen, that's a far less sacrifice than what would happen if we lose our freedom.
Agreed. And so I've always wondered this. I mean, it's difficult to change anyone's mind that has it really ingrained in themselves. There are people that have their opinions like you and I do based on what I consider to be facts. And then there's others that have their opinions based on what they're told through somehow this happened, controlled media. And I'm talking a wide, unbelievable number of outlets that are all being controlled seemingly by one source. It just seems that way because you go from news station to news station to news station. I've seen footage of it where they literally parrot the exact same phrase every time on different networks. So they're getting their information from somewhere that's controlling it. Big tech is involved. How did this get to where we're at? It's unbelievable that they somehow figured out how to control us all. And when you have folks that still believe in that approach, that policy, that they believe that we are all racist, that you and I, because we're white, we are white supremacists by default. How do you address someone, or do you? I mean, how do you have that just an adult conversation with them and say, But here's the other side of it. Maybe you should look over here. Do you have any advice for that?
Well, it's a great question, great point. There certainly are some people who just are fixed in their minds of what they believe, and it's very hard to convince them. And to some extent, maybe that's not our role to convince everybody. But the people who are open-minded to hearing other sides are the ones that we should speak to and try and help them to see, the light. And I would encourage people to be hopeful. You can't hide a narrative forever, and it ultimately gets revealed. And we're starting to see that already, right? Last year, if you talked about the coronavirus coming from a lab, you were kicked off social media. Now today, it's a given that started in the lab, we were told that if you take the vaccine, you're not going to get sick. And we now know that's not the case, that you will get sick. And, there's a joke about what's the difference between conspiracy theory and truth. And it's about 9 months, right? So, it's what
That's good.
Last year is conspiracy, we're finding out. But listen, let's go back to the 70s and 80s. What they're doing now is no different than what big tobacco did with lung cancer and cigarette smoke, right? They tried to hide it and say, no, that's not the case. And then we started finding memos that they had in their own files that showed that they knew there was risks of cancer, lung cancer by cigarette smoke. And now in every pack of cigarettes, there's a warning. And so it's no different. But boy, what would have social media done in the 70s and 80s? Would they have sided with big tobacco and shut us down? They're basically deciding with big pharma today.
Exactly.
And parents who are complaining that their children took the vaccine and had a negative outcome. We work with a lot of the doctors, on CloutHub. We give everybody a platform. It's free speech, so anybody can come, and regardless, they can be liberal, they can be conservative, they can be in between, they could be wrong even, but that's free speech, and it's not my role to say what's right or wrong. It's certainly we don't allow hate, we don't allow violence on our platform, but if it's just people talking about ideas, and we encourage that, because truth has a way of finding its way to the surface, and we have to let people go through that process. When people come over from our platform off of Twitter or Facebook, initially they have this chip on their shoulder. They're angry, right? Because they've had to measure what they say in their own mind, self-censor themselves, and they don't feel heard, because the minute they say something that they want to say, they get a 24-hour suspension, 3-day suspension, 7-day suspension. But when they come over to CloutHub and they're actually able to talk and have the discussions, and we welcome the tough discussions here, after a little bit of time, they're you can just tell all they wanted to do is be heard. And that's so true. Those of us that have children know that our children just want to be heard. And when they feel heard, then they're not as upset or angry or short-tempered. So.
Yeah, it's I'm so glad again Michelle brought us together, because this just I don't know, it invigorates me to know that we have someone like you championing something this great, and what a great way to do it, through a social media platform of all things, because they're so powerful when the word gets out and spreads. And it's so interesting that the funding got blocked. When you said that, I had no idea. Number one, I had no idea that crowdfunding said no. And number two, I didn't know that you guys stepped in with CloutHub. And then number three, I didn't know that the Canadian government somehow froze the funds. I'm like, you've got to be kidding.
Happened. Life would be boring, right? If you sit there and go, wow, with what we deal with on a daily basis in the news cycle, what did we do 10 years ago? Was life boring?
Well, it was a lot slower because we didn't have the internet flying, with all these opinions and things. But I had paper newspapers. You had to wait till the next day for the next update instead of 24/7 now. But and gosh, I always thought that technology was a good thing, and it can be a good thing if it's used for good. But my gosh, it's crazy. I don't understand it.
Well, you raise a good point. I mean, and when I tell people what I'm doing to build a social media platform, and go, social media platform, but social media actually has tremendous power to be good, to do good. So when you look at, what happened with social media, for the most part, you had Mark Zuckerberg and Jack Dorsey, who were very young when they started their platforms, and they started it basically, hey, let's just, it was kind of more like a hobby, fun thing that they created, and and then they evolved through their 20s, through their course of running a social media platform, right? So they, they didn't know what they didn't know, and they, made some choices that maybe weren't the best choices for society. But now we have the, and those were the first generation social media platforms. By the way, it's only a 16-year-old industry, right? So now, we have the ability to look back and say, okay, how could we do it better? And that's what I think CloutHub's about, is doing social media right. So, first of all, we're building it to bring people together, like in the intro you mentioned, and giving them the tools. They can share their interests, their hobbies, speak, with their friends and family, like you always want to do on social media, connect. But we recognize that, a society needs to be able to deal with issues, and we give them the tools where they can join groups, they can share information, organize, mobilize, take action on the issues that impact their lives. As we move forward, we will be building a civic hub where you can interact with your elected officials at the federal, local, and state level. And we'll also be building a faith hub where people can grow and, share their faith and access inspirational movies, books, music, watch different services. And this would be for all religions. There'll be an education hub. There'll be an entertainment hub, a health hub, a sports hub, a finance hub, a marketplace, a business hub, all the things that in life shape your life and determine the quality of your life, and also build up a stronger society. And after all, that's what social media can do and should do, right? Connect us to the things in life that enrich our lives. And so CloutHub will be a more meaningful, so to speak, Facebook. The other thing CloutHub is we're everything in one place. I think people are tired of going to YouTube for video, going to Facebook for this, going to Twitter for that, and then Instagram and Clubhouse and we got 8 different accounts, and we're trying to juggle them all. In CloutHub, we have everything you do in Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, even Clubhouse, but we took it another step level higher. We put the presenters on video, and then the audience is the avatars, and they can actually interact with you. Instead of just having a chat off to the side where they text, they can actually verbally talk to you in your video, and you can answer their questions, and you can actually charge people to come into the room. So if you were wanting to teach a subject, you could charge people to come in and teach them. If you just wanted to put on an interesting debate that people would be wanting to see, you could charge for that. If you are a musician, right now you're not really going out and touring because one club requires mask mandates, the next one requires vaccine passports. You never know which one you're getting into. So you could sit on your couch or in your studio at home and do a concert, and people could pay to watch it, and you get 5,000 people paying $20. That's $100,000. You didn't leave your living room, So it's actually a pretty cool tool. But that's, so it's everything in one. So we're using social media to connect you to things in life that are meaningful, and then it's everything in one place. So, and by the way, also we protect your privacy, which is really important. We don't play that game that the other platforms play. We don't dig into your phone. We don't track you where you're going. We don't look at what apps you're using or not. We don't even take the IP address you came in off of. It's completely private, and we think that's the way it should be too. We never really agreed that when we join a social media platform, we give a right to privacy. I don't know where that came in, but that's not the case with CloutHub. It's completely private, and it was designed by a consultant in neuroscience that to make sure it was healthy, because most social media platforms are addiction mills. Really, they addict us to come back and back and back, and watch their ads. And CloutHub's not that. CloutHub's a tool. You use it when you want to use it. If you don't use it, then you don't use it. But we don't do that. We don't try and send you, more extreme content to try and bring you back.
Will there be the ability to advertise?
Yes, there will be. So right now we have video channels, and they're as good as YouTube. People really like them. You can live stream on CloutHub everyone gets a channel, by the way, that joins CloutHub. They get a free channel, all right, and they can upload videos or go live. And from going live, they can use a third-party software like like StreamYard or Restream or OBS or Wirecast. Okay, they'll go directly from their phone with no software and go live. If they're out at an event or see a news story, they can just boom, go live. But they can also just go live from a webcam and record a live video, and all their subscribers at that time get a notice that they are live, and they actually get the video put in their public forum feed. So our videos get a lot of views, and then the minute the live video is done, it automatically adds to your library, and it's instantaneous. And then we also have groups like Facebook, but our groups are much more advanced than Facebook groups. You can have subgroups, and then subgroups to subgroups. So you could have a national organization with a subgroup for every state, and then within every state you could have a subgroup for county or precinct or school district. So people can really organize locally, and you can also, by the way, send messages to your members. Facebook doesn't allow you to do that, but in CloutHub you can actually say, I'm going to message my members, and I can message all my members, or I might only want to message my members in Miami-Dade County, and only Miami-Dade County members would get it. So, it's really advanced that way, and it's all about communicating, mobilizing, take action, and influence the issues you care about.
You know what? I think this is a good time to give folks a visual of CloutHub itself. I was just, you said you can go live even from this platform I'm using. I'm like, are you kidding me? I would have set that up if I had known that. I'm a tech geek. I'm an automation freak. I love everything to do with automation. Do you know? Here's one question. Should I go there? It's geeky. It's techie. Do you have any plans on integrating with Zapier? I checked right before we went live to see if that was done yet.
Yeah, it's not done yet, but yes, we will. I mean,
All right.
Any new platform is an evolution, right? I look at it this way. First, we're building the building blocks. We have video in our platform now. We have groups. We have discussion rooms. We have the events. Now, you asked about advertising. That's what we're adding now. We're adding business pages, so businesses can come on and promote themselves. We're also adding the ability for our members to be able to place ads and run ads in the platform. And then we're also building a marketplace where people you could sell merchandise through CloutHub. Yeah. So the page you have up now is basically our public forum. Yeah. And
you can see I'm relaxed. We've got one friend. And then we have there's news.
Yeah, news, and you can in the newsroom see different topics like health and entertainment and politics, and so you don't have to leave CloutHub. And by the way, you can, if you like say you got Gateway Pundit right up there at the top. If you were to click on Gateway Pundit, go ahead and click on Gateway Pundit there in the column. So you can now follow Gateway Pundit, and then when you follow them, you'll get their news articles delivered to you throughout the day. So as they put out news, it'll show up in your public forum. So, and you can see they also have a channel. You could actually message them, so it's really interactive. In fact, if you were to go down and hit one of their stories, I'll show you something else. Go to the story. See, people can discuss the topic,
Over here on the right.
The news article, right there. And so it's really quite interactive. And of course, you can share that into CloutHub, into your public forum, that article. So it's really
this article is sourced from an entirely different website, correct?
That's correct. It's Gateway Pundits.
That is amazing how you've integrated that with the ability to comment and chat on it to the right. That is that's a unique thing right there.
So when, you know, just even the two things we've looked at so far, which is the forum and the news. I mean, when I say that we're much more than a Twitter alternative, you know, we really are. I mean, most of the other platforms, the, you know, Getters, the Parlors, the et cetera, are really Twitter knockoffs, right? And that's all you do in them is post. And, you know, what we're building is something more comprehensive. And listen, I'm not knocking them because every free speech platform is important. I'm just saying that we have a bigger vision. So, you know, if you go to groups, you know, and you can see there's some fairly decent sized groups in here. And, you know, you can go into the groups and you can create, you see the subgroups. I mean, I think you have to be the admin to create a subgroup, but you could create a subgroup under this for every state, you know, and then communicate that way to them.
It's
Yeah,
one of the most.
you have to be the admin. You have to be the admin to create a.
That's fine. I picked the wrong one. It has no picture, but that is one of the most intelligent women I've ever known or seen on TV. She's amazing. Candace.
Yeah, you know, and then there's the channels. So this is latest channels, the latest video, right? And if you were to click on Explore underneath the latest, in the left, so you can see you can pick topics, right? And this is as advanced as YouTube. You can pick topics and then see videos by those topics. But if you wanted to find something very specific, you go down to the next one, which is find, and then do a search and put in a topic. You put X22 and hit enter, and it'll find, or go ahead and put whatever you want.
I don't know if I hit the button. There we go.
And then you have channels, but also you could hit videos at the top tab.
Yeah, there we go.
There you go. So, you know, it's really quite advanced. And if you hit any one of those videos, it should play very quickly. You know, and
so are you doing your own? Are you doing your own? You have your own streaming servers then? Your own bank of streaming servers for the video?
we are protected.
You knew where I was going.
yeah. We don't go into too much detail there because you don't want to really tip anybody off what you're doing or not doing.
Okay, let's not do that. Definitely.
But I can tell you this: we cannot be taken down like, you know, what happened to Parla. Now you also see above the videos, there's a little like triangle, you know, with the 3 dots. That's to share it. But then there's a bookmark one, and then there's a little clock looking icon. So let's say you see something, you go, I really want to watch this, but I don't have time now. If you were to click that little clock, it'll add it to your to watch list down in the left hand column, you know. And we also have bookmarks, and then it keeps track of your history too. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, neat.
Yeah. So
if I was if I was a live streamer and I just joined your platform, am I allowed to go live, or do we need to be there for a while, do so many posts, things like LinkedIn?
No, if you just let us know, we would make you live. We just got to know your username, and we'll make you live. And then what we're doing right now would be live on CloutHub. You know, your StreamYard would connect you to it. And it would, every time you go live, it would automatically broadcast through CloutHub.
Yes, brother, I'm looking at adding you as another channel for sure, a destination on this. Is that through RTMP kind of thing, or?
Yeah, it's an RTMP code. Yeah, in fact, go to hit my channel up there, that gray button.
Got it.
So this is your channel, and right now you have watch live, upload video, but I could make you go live, but you're not hooked up anyway, so we wouldn't do it. So
that's why I brought it up after I talked to Michelle. I was digging into it. This was some time ago now, but I couldn't find out how to go live, so I just kind of gave up at that moment.
Yeah. Eventually we'll let everybody go live, but we're pre-revenue right now, so it can get very expensive to get everybody going live.
Completely understand.
Yeah. So, but for those of you who have shows, and you know, I know like YouTube requires you have 1,000 followers or something like that, subscribers before they give you live, and but if you have a show elsewhere, you know, we typically give you that ability. So,
how would I reach out to get that?
If you were to write to support@clouthub.com, and say,
Okay.
Jeff said to give me a channel go live. They'll do it
Jeff
for you.
sent me.
Jeff
I
said
love it.
it's okay. So
This is
that's
phenomenal.
okay. Then this is events. So this is the event. So like if you were to, I don't think
Look
you
at
could.
that one.
Oh, there we go.
I just threw that up today. That's why it's got one
Yeah,
attendee. I did it kind of late, but
So,
I saw
but you
these
could
names. I thought, my
have
goodness.
used this actually to do this broadcast, of course. And we've done, we do the presidential rallies. We reached a partnership with Real America's Voice News to cover events like that, and they do it through CloutHub events. But the CloutHub events, are really powerful. You would be on video, and the audiences be on avatar, and you can get 100,000 people into there. So, and like I said, you could charge people to come in and attend. So it's really quite good.
Is it based on your following, the number of friends that you have or that you're following regarding how many will actually see this out in your platform?
So regarding what, the channel or the event?
Yes.
Okay, so what happens with the channel is you collect subscribers, right? So your subscribers get a notice when you go live or upload a video, and so they get a notice, but it also goes into their public forum. Okay, when they go. Okay, so that's one thing. The other thing too is if you were to go to your channel again, if you don't mind, where it says My Channel, the gray.
Oh, gotcha.
So you have a share channel button there above the orange buttons. Okay, if you were to click that copy link, that one. So that actually is what we call a fish hook. Wherever you put that, you put it in in a Telegram group or in an email or a text message to your fans or in a Facebook group. The minute somebody touches that, or you can post it under your YouTube channel, the minute they touch it, they come directly to your channel here and are prompted to subscribe to your channel. So they didn't have to come through the front door of CloutHub. They came directly to your channel, okay? And then they are prompted to subscribe. When they hit the subscribe button, if they're not a member of CloutHub, they get a very abbreviated little pop-up that says, sign up, first name, last name, email address, username, password, and then they're done. So, because what happens is if you try and bring people in and they have to come through the front door, then they set up their profile, then they see a pretty picture or something and get distracted and never make it to your channel.
Right.
That fish hook exists if you launch it from your videos, so your channel, if you launch it from your group, or if you launch it from your profile. So if you launch it from your profile, they immediately come to your profile and are prompted to follow you. If you launch it from your group, they immediately go to your group as long as it's a public group, and then they're prompted to join your group. On a channel, they're prompted to subscribe. So it makes it easy for you to bring people over.
I got to tell you, 2018, this is pretty robust already. So kudos to you for you and your team.
Thank you.
Very well thought through. Just amazing.
You can see it's a lot more intricate than, some of the other platforms. So, and even the connections tab, this is how you find people. So, you can find people you're interested in following. You put even a term in there, MAGA or Patriot, or, and that enter here and find people that you want to follow. So we try and make it easier to find people.
Love it.
Yeah.
I think
and then
that's how I could tag you.
You can do direct messages. You also get notifications. You also get invites, We got a lot more to do, though. What you see here is very advanced, and I think pretty much everybody acknowledges that the technology behind this is like when you go into those events, what we're doing, nobody else is doing. Where you're on video and people can actually talk to you. I don't know what you'd see if you were to hit completed. I don't know since you haven't attended any meetings, I'm not sure if it would show you any completed meetings. On the left-hand column where it says completed.
Oh, gotcha. Oh, I'm clicking the wrong spot.
Yeah, so you haven't attended any meetings, so it's not showing you any. But to go in and look at some old ones. If I knew how to share the screen, I guess I could share my screen and show you. But
That's all right.
Yeah, but anyway, it's really quite advanced what people can do here. It's basically a virtual meeting. You can pass out handouts to the audience. You have breakout rooms where they can go into smaller meetings.
Saw that. Very much like Zoom.
Yeah, exactly. And the audience can actually text chat among themselves while they're watching. So,
And how many can be involved currently? I understand that this is a kind of in the beginning stages. How many people can simultaneously be involved on, say, video through a meeting or an event
100,000.
at the same time?
Yeah. 110,000 people can 100,000 people can be in your event.
Holy moly!
Yeah, no, we built this for real. We're not playing games.
God, this is phenomenal. So, okay, I'm gonna do some digging. I get too techie and geeky and ask too many deep questions because that's the way I love to work. But
yeah, so you're going to see an exclusive UFC fight March 19th in CloutHub. You're also going to see an interview with Robert Malone in the near future. And we're actually working on putting a fundraiser for the doctors to help offset some of their costs that they're facing. Peter McCullough and other doctors are, they're all under attack, and so it allows for them to raise some money again because you can charge people to come in. So
that's great. And then so you'll be able to monetize through ads and maybe taking a share of other shows or things. I mean, I think I don't care how you monetize, but I know that it'll be a great thing that you do because that will help you to scale and grow this thing even bigger and better. And I'm always a fan of that. And when I see somebody that's got a great cause, I always say this on the show. I wish for you the blessings of massive wealth because I know what you would do with that wealth. You would reinvest a lot of that toward building this platform. I can see you're passionate about it. There's no doubt in my mind or anyone who's watching. And also splurge on yourself. I hope you do that too and take advantage of basically giving yourself a pat on the back, and you deserve it, right? And so it's two ways, but I know you could. I know you're that kind of person. I can tell by what you did just to get on this show that you had that it factor, the drive, the determination, the flexibility, everything that goes into it. And I want people like you to be able to spread what you do farther, wider, and faster as much as possible.
Thank you. Well, this is really a passion project for me. When we do start to make money, a percentage of the revenue will go into a foundation, and because we're trying to promote people doing things in their community, whether that's improving a park or stuff like that, painting out graffiti, they'll be able to apply to that foundation for grants. So it'll be a complete ecosystem. We'll make money on a platform as big as what we have coming. It's very little of it will be from advertising. Actually, the existing platforms are almost 99% on advertising revenue, but they invade your privacy to do that. We're not believers of that. So there'll be lots of other ways for us to make money, like those events. People do the events, we take a percentage, and we'll make it so you can charge people to join your group, or with a subgroup, like you could create one group that's free, but then you have your premium, group that they can pay to be a member of, and they get to see additional content. Same with your channels. You'll be able to have an additional library that is premium content that they can, if they pay $25 a year or $3 a month or whatever you decide, they can see it, and then we'll take a percentage of that, right? So we're in business together. The better you do, the better we do. So the problem on the other platforms is, they originally let you have tremendous reach. You had 100,000 people, they let you 100,000, but then they go, oh shoot, we have to make money. So if we let Brian reach his people by just posting, how do we get him to advertising? Oh, we better let him only see 5% of his stuff. So see, they're competing with you, but on CloutHub, we're partnering with you. The more you do, the more you do, the more we do, and we're happy to help you do more.
This is genius. So, okay, I got a couple more very important questions. So for your company to build and grow, and you'll need some funding. Is there any public channels for people who wish to donate that you have available, or are there other means that people can get involved to help grow this platform?
So people can donate. They can go to CloutHub, and there's an opportunity on the side. It says donate, and we greatly appreciate that because this is a struggle. You know, it's not like everyone wakes up in the morning and decides they're going to go take on Facebook. You know, it can be a daunting thing. But yeah, if you scroll up, I think there should be on the side something about donate. Go down a little bit, back down a little bit. Yeah, support CloutHub.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, so people can click that, and then they can donate. And the other thing too is we are raising money. We're raising a seed round, investment round, and you know, the minimum investment's $10,000 because it's an SEC thing. You have to be a qualified investor, but we're raising $3 million, and that helps us, you know, do development and grow the platform. We currently are just about 4 million people on it, and we have a plan, a very solid plan, to add 7 million more people by roughly fall. That will be launching very shortly.
I'm excited for you, and I'm excited that. Thank you for this wonderful tour of CloutHub. I learned so much just from having you on the show. I'm excited for. I'm a tech geek, and I'm literally intrigued and excited with what you put together. I can't wait to dig in. I'm going to dig in deeper now that I can see what you have already and where you're going. This is something to get in front of. And what I will say to everyone watching and listening, those watching video, those listening on podcasts, these are those things that, you know, it's been around for what, almost 4 years, right around there, and it's still.
We launched it in November 2020.
Oh, okay, so a couple of years, you know, 3 years maybe. I don't know. You said the month. I'm horrible at doing that stuff. But
about a year and a month.
You know, remember when everyone was jumping on Clubhouse when it first started, and you know, it was only iPhones. I was one of those that did not have an iPhone. I don't have it out here. I went and bought a used one on eBay so I could just get on CloutHub, and it became, you know, a good rage for a while, and I lost interest. It was just too much of it was addicting too, and you could be on there for 2 hours and not even know it. This is one of those things where you've thought of every angle. You're for the people, not for yourself to just make money off advertising. Everything you're saying is just ringing true with my value system. And I'm imploring of everyone out there listening and watching, it's free. Go in and jump in, test the waters. If you like it, stick around. If you don't, then don't. It's okay. You're free to come and go, and you're free to speak your mind. And I don't know if this is what Jeff would say, but please be respectful of everyone else. Do it with an adult mindset, just so we can keep everything going clean in the way that Jeff had envisioned. I'm sure there's got to be some level of, hey, that's not allowed here, and we're not going to have that happen. But please be respectful. But this is one of those things, if you want to get out in front, this is the beginning of something huge, obviously, with your vision, with Jeff's vision. This thing is going to go huge, and businesses, groups, religious groups, all can benefit from something like this. I can see it already. And so I would just say, everyone, get on to clouthub.com. I don't have an affiliate link. There's nothing to pay for. Jump on there, get on there, connect with me, connect with Jeff. I want to build my base and get great entrepreneurs together. I'm all into the business realm, and let's make something great together, all of us. My goodness, I just look at the clock, Jeff. Holy smokes, we're there. How did that happen?
I know, huh?
All right,
well, Brian, I greatly appreciate you having me on tonight and sharing this with your audience.
Well, we're not done yet. I got one more question to ask you, and I got to give away the prize. We got a few minutes. If you're okay with that, hanging out in the hotel lobby, appreciate that so much, brother. So I love to ask this question. It's a final question of every guest I have on the show. It's very profound in not the question itself, but the answers that come from it. And I love to do that. And it can be a little bit personal, but don't worry, it's not a big deal. Before I do that, I'm going to announce the prize I promised in the beginning, which is a 5-night stay at a 5-star luxury resort, compliments of the Big Insider Secrets. For those of you that are still on live, here is what you do. So you now have, just for a moment, you have both Jeff and my privilege. I'm speaking on behalf of Jeff, like I should, right? To take your gaze away if you need to, if you're watching on a computer or something. But what you need to do is bring up a browser and enter a URL. Here it is. It's coming up on the screen for these watching. It is ryp.im/vacation, all lowercase, ryp.im/vacation. Enter your information there. We give one of these away every single show. They are amazing. They are legitimate. You're not going to get whisked away to a timeshare where you're water tortured for 2 hours in the basement. It's not that way. It's a legitimate vacation. It's amazing. And just as, well, it's not nearly as amazing as Jeff, but it's pretty amazing. And so coming back to that main guide, Jeff, this is the crescendo of it all, Jeff. It is a huge question. And here's the cool thing about the question. We'll wrap this up. There is no such thing as a wrong answer to this question. So if there were any nerves, I don't see any in you. You're like nerves of steel. You're one of those ice men, I can tell.
But I just had $8.6 million frozen. So for the Canadian truckers, anything you throw at me is nothing. I mean, that was
Good
over
point.
there. So this is dessert.
Fair enough. I totally, that's awesome. I love this. Yeah, and the opposite is true. The only correct answer is yours, and that's what makes it personal, nothing more. It's unique to you. So we're not getting into your personal business in any way, stretch, or form. So are you ready? I know you are.
I'm ready.
All right, here we go. Jeff Brain, how do you define success?
Well, I know how I should define it. I'm not sure I'm following that though lately, because this is requiring I think really success is having a level of financial success, but also personal life success, and having that balance. I think that went out the window though, like probably about a year ago for me for right now. But when you're at this point, trying to do what I'm doing and like fighting the battles, to try and move forward, and that's your business program. So that's the thing. You got to just keep moving forward. But it requires a lot of time. So I'm not sure I have that balance right now. But but I know it in the textbook what it should be.
Yeah, and it's not necessarily what you have today, but how do you define it yourself? What are you looking for? So
for
that's
me,
also,
for right now, it's a lot of hours. It's every day. It's 7 days a week right now, and a lot of hours. But eventually, I think that we'll get beyond that. The platform will take over life of its own, and then we'll have enough staff. We'll have enough. We'll have revenue, and then I can relax a little bit more. Right now, it's a lot of work. And so, but success for me would be, when the platform's running, when we can provide people, money through that foundation. This is about, changing the way we operate as a society. That's success as far as CloutHub goes.
Oh, and that is what I call a bomb dropping moment.
Yep.
And we had a little glitch with the animation. There it is. The sound should have been in tandem with the little bomb drop, but doggone it, I love that thing, and it just failed me badly.
Yeah.
There we go. Got to have it. Knowledge bombs, smart bombs, bombs of wisdom, all from this amazing man, Jeff Brain. Jeff, I thank you so very much, and now it's looping, for being on the show. I appreciate your candid answers, your wisdom, your mission, your purpose, your drive, everything about you. And if there's anything I personally can do to help you, please don't hesitate to reach out, and let's make something big happen together.
Thank you, Brian. It's been great to be on your show.
All right. Thank you, Jeff. With that, I am your host, Brian Kelly of the Mind Body Business Show. We'll be back again next week with another great guest. I don't know, it's going to be tough to top this one, but we'll be back. We'll see you then. So long for now. Goodbye, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to the Mind Body Business Show podcast at www.themindbodybusinessshow.com. My name is Brian Kelly.